3 weeks ago, at a public hearing in Helena, scores of healthcare providers and advocates for the poor urged the Bullock administration not to make a series of cuts to Medicaid-funded services. But this week, the administration said it's implementing most of the proposed cuts, including nearly $10 million that pay for dentures, crowns, and other dental services for as many as 150,000 low-income adults in Montana. David Hemian of the Montana Dental Association says these are vital services that Montana has funded for years.
Dentures are essential for nutrition, especially for people in nursing homes. They don't have, a lot of options without dentures to maintain their nutrition. They affect employability. People who are poor, they're starting out on a, kind of an entry-level job and they have no teeth, are going to have a much harder time being employed.
Other cuts taking effect include Medicaid payments to a broad swath of health care and treatment services for the poor and disabled. The Bullock administration says it has little choice in the matter. It notes that Republican lawmakers put $75 million of overall budget cuts into law during last November's special session to address the state's expected revenue shortfall, and that GOP legislators refused to consider tax increases that could prevent some of the cuts. But Hemian and others question why the administration chose the cuts it did, and whether a bounce in state revenue last month could mean at least some of the cuts can be avoided.
If they have additional money, there's no reason to make these cuts.
The Bullock administration says it may consider other options on the dental cuts, but isn't talking about any broader plans to alleviate most of the cuts. Hemian says he's hopeful that some of the dental services on the chopping block can survive.
It's just not fair to look at the budget and say, well, we can make these cuts. It really doesn't impact anyone that greatly. We can do better as a state than looking at disabled and elderly people and say they can go without these services.
Mike Dennison, MTN News, Helena.